Jake Paul's California mansion has been raided by the FBI, multiple news organizations report. You can see in this aerial footage agents in uniform outside his home in Calabasas.
It's funny about your brother. Your brother talks more shit than anybody else on the planet. They're trying to sue people when people talk shit. There's people out there saying they're fake fights, they're fixed.
You know, for me, in my opinion, I think it's scripted a little bit because, of the weight difference. And, Joshua's a former, champion. And also, he's current, he's active.
That was not a boxing match. Jake Paul had a very healthy fear for his life while he was in there. He was running away. He was trying to get distance. Then he was trying to step in to win this contest. And then he's trying to get out of the...
Once again, Jake Paul is at the center of a major controversy that could threaten his boxing career. New accusations online claim that some of his big fights were scripted, including the Netflix fight against Anthony Joshua. Some social media users even claim that Jake Paul and his brother were arrested, though no official proof supports this. Boxing promoters and officials strongly deny that professional fights can be fixed without serious legal trouble. Still, doubts about Jake Paul's legitimacy in boxing are growing fast. With his past controversies, including an FBI raid on his home, many fans are now asking if this could be the beginning of the end for Jake Paul's rise.
FBI agents have raided the Southern California home of YouTube star Jake Paul. Federal officials say the search was part of an investigation. Wendy Birch is in Calabasas with what we're learning tonight.
Sky 5 was overhead this morning as federal agents entered Jake Paul's Calabasas home located in this gated community off of Mulholland Highway. We counted close to 24 federal agents, some of them in tactical gear, entering the residence. Why they were here and what they were looking for? That remains unclear. The federal search warrant has been sealed and no one...
For years, boxing analysts, former fighters, and promoters have questioned Jake Paul's fights. These doubts existed long before the recent arrest rumors appeared. Critics point to carefully chosen opponents, unusual fight pacing, late knockdowns, and rumored contract limits. Many believe Jake Paul's success looks planned rather than earned through real competition.
I've always been curious about this because, you saw the Askren fight. We saw these fights that he went into. The Fury one obviously didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go, just because I was so convinced that Jake had these fights fixed. And there's a lot of people who talk about the fights being fixed because it's just the way it is.
Yeah, they tell me that too. They're like, tell me you're not going to take a fall against Paul. Everybody says that to me. I'm like, are you kidding me? You couldn't pay me on all the money in the world.
Veteran voices in boxing often say that while Jake Paul brings money and attention to the sport, his fights avoid real danger. This has fueled suspicion that the goal is to protect his brand instead of testing true boxing skill. Each new controversy adds to a growing belief that Paul's boxing journey relies more on control and image than the harsh reality of professional boxing.
If that Jake Paul fight was
what happened to me is what was going to happen to him had he dropped those hands. If I say, Rampage, I'm going to pay you $2 million, right? That this dude beat you, what you going to do? You're going to feel disrespected, number one. Right? That ain't enough money. For me to do that, I got to be willing to walk away for good. Something like 20-something million where I can invest in it and fall off in the shade.
Similar rumors appeared during the fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Online leaks claimed the fight was planned in advance. Alleged audio recordings spread online, suggesting that key moments, including Tyson slowing down and losing, were staged. These claims caused massive debate and confusion among fans.
In the United States is $1.3 million. Again, that's over the course of the person's entire life. Jake Paul earned 30 times that in one night. People talk about winners and losers, like Jake Paul won.
After defeating Mike Tyson, Jake Paul spoke confidently about his performance. He said he was barely hit or hurt during the fight. His supporters took this as proof of his dominance and growth as a boxer. However, critics disagreed, saying the fight lacked intensity and danger. Many questioned Tyson's performance and argued the match did not feel like a fair contest.
Big as the Super Bowl.
Big as the what?
Why was Mike wearing assless chaps though in that?
Yeah, did that moment go viral with his cheeks out?
I don't know. It made my stomach hurt.
I was seeing it.
Why didn't he have underwear
ringside. On? He had a G-string on, is what he had.
Almost.
I thought he was completely butt naked.
Nah, he looked like a stripper.
But yeah, biggest live gate, 18.1 millions in U.S. boxing history outside of Las Vegas. A phenomenal night. I'm sorry I didn't knock him out though, guys.
Shut the fuck up. It was crazy when we talked about this. I told him you're gonna say some dumb shit. You did the right thing at the end.
The recent fight with Anthony Joshua has raised similar concerns. Many commentators called the matchup strange and unbalanced. Jake Paul, a YouTuber turned boxer with a 12-1 record, was facing a former two-time heavyweight champion with years of elite experience. Some critics labeled Paul as more of a money-making opponent than a serious challenge, adding to claims that the event was more spectacle than sport.
Jake Paul, fake Paul I call him, against Anthony Joshua. Massive unit, two-time world champ, still got a big punch. I think he's mentally fragile at world level if he goes against the big guns because of the knockout, especially the Dubois knockout when he got fucking splattered. You know what I mean? In round 5, and he got hurt early on and then he got done. And he's not been in the ring for 13 months.
Yeah.
But can you see a world in which Jake Paul is competitive in this fight?
No.
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 How do you see the fight going if AJ takes it serious?
It'll be over.
Despite the criticism, Jake Paul entered the fight with strong confidence. Observers noted his intense focus and determination during training. Unlike some past fights, Paul appeared mentally prepared and serious about the challenge. Analysts believe his confidence comes from both physical preparation and a strong mindset, showing he sees this fight as a chance to prove himself on the world stage.
He's very big. I'm here to shock the world, inspire the next generation. We're in the Heat arena. I'm a big Heat fan. Miami's on fire. This is my first pro fight was in Miami against Gibb. I'm bringing that same energy here.
Still, many experienced analysts remain skeptical. They argue that Jake Paul's belief that he can compete with Anthony Joshua may be unrealistic. Joshua has years of professional training, championship experience, and proven endurance. Some observers question whether Paul's rapid progress is natural, though no confirmed evidence supports these claims.
Paul natural? No. I can say that with pretty certain confidence in that statement, mainly because, as you heard me mention, I know a lot of the people he trains with, and I have heard things. Now let's give Jake the benefit of the doubt, right? He's able to restrain from the peer pressure that everyone's putting on him to hop on these certain compounds. Then that would be cool to train natural, do what he needs to do. But the thing is, his body composition has changed so much, his explosiveness, his power, and yes, that comes with training and time. But I find it very suspicious that for some reason, whenever a drug test gets brought up, for instance, when Fury wanted that in the contract, Jake Paul turns them down. So you should think to yourself, it's probably because he's not natural. Now I want to make it clear, I don't care whether Jake Paul is natural or not. There's so many people that aren't natural that are in combat sports. In fact, Tyron Woodley probably is also not natural. Everyone wants that little edge over their competition, and that's where drugs and anabolics come into play. Compounds that are out there that just increase your explosiveness immensely, your recovery, so that you can stay in the same weight class, which is very important for combat sports, whether that's boxing, UFC, whatever type of combat sport you're doing. So that is why you guys have seen so much improvement from Jake Paul. Of course, he has a great circle around him, great trainers, great coaches, a great regimen, but definitely anabolics play a very fundamental role in that. They allow him to train as hard as he does. They allow him to increase his power and speed. And of course, when you think of those concepts, that's essentially